talk about the chess match that's there with the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Jones, good decision maker. What goes into that chess game against somebody who's making good decisions and can run with the ball?
I mean, you be patient. The plays that you're supposed to make, they'll come to you. And he's been really good by protecting the ball this year, and scrambling when he has space to do his thing. And a lot of people really sleep on his athleticism with running and making big plays off the scrambles. But he's been doing a great job. I think for me is just staying patient as much as I can, and not try to force anything. I mean, as you guys seen, I don't have any interceptions, but I'm not gonna go force anything. I mean, those plays are gonna come, and when they do, you go take advantage of them. And when the opportunity presents itself on Sunday, then hopefully I'm there to go take advantage of it. But you play your normal game. You don't expect to go out there and jump something that's not there. Because when you start creating stuff in your mind, that's when bad things happen.
You've seen a lot of running quarterbacks, but in what way is he different, and how do they use him differently?
I think he just more of, he drops back and, he looks and see where he's going. And, if his reads are not there, then he can scramble and make it effective, where he's not one of those guys that's really trying to slide. He's trying to get extra yards. I think, for sure, he's somebody that since he's been in the league, he's got a lot of rushing yards. He's seen him run away from defenses and things like that. So that makes him unique. But I think, we just contain the pocket as much as we can. And, he's similar in size to Herbert, but just try to keep him in the pocket, keep him bottled up. And, he has his own replays, and we got to be technique sound on those too. But, I think it'll be a good day, and I think it'll be fun to go against a challenge like that.
With what you know about playing nickelback and all that position entails, what have you thought of the transition that Kobe has made there, given that he didn't play that in college at all?
I think it's been really, really cool to see. I always kind of thought when I even came back and for the mandatory minicamp, I thought that he should have been learning nickel from then. Not saying that he wasn't, because I think he still looked at it, but I made it sure to make that a point to him to, just look at it a little bit, see what it's like, because, the versatility, you can tell that he has the versatility. He can tackle, he's strong in the run game, he can cover, he plays good in zone, and as you guys can see, he can go get the ball. So, it's been great. You looking at it, you wouldn't even tell that he's never played nickel before. I think he's just a natural instinct kind of guy. He feels, different things and route concepts and things like that, which is super cool for a young guy. But he puts the time in, he puts the effort in, he asks questions, he wants to know as much as he can. And he knows his stuff. It's not one of those ones where, I got to tell him the calls all the time. It was just like, hey, he looking, he tell the corners to call, and I just kind of play off him sometimes. So, I think that's cool. It takes a little bit off my plate where, I don't have to fix as much stuff, and that lets me play free. And I think that's what's kind of been positive the last few weeks is I can just go out and play free and, not really worry about having to line as many people up, because I know I can trust in a young boy to get it done.
You've done that job. What's the hardest thing for him with no experience, playing and learning to fly? What's the job? What's the hardest?
Like I told him when I was young, it was the same way for me. It was like Glover Quinn would tell me, like, hey, if you make the right call, I don't have to worry about you, and you make the right calls consistently, I trust it, and, we go from there. If it's something that needs to be said, I'll say it. But, for the most part, I get to chill a little bit more. I get to chill and just go make plays, find the ball, and do things like that. And, I trust him. I trust him a lot, and I'll continue to trust him. He's going to have rookie mistakes here and there, but, that's part of him being young. But it's not something that I really worry about with him, because I know consistently he's doing his best, and I know consistently he's studying, he's learning, and he wants to know to be better, for the defense. So I think that's what's dope.
What did you say it was a couple weeks ago that you noticed Kobe was starting to?
You can tell when a guy, the switch kind of clicked. He's get his confidence going where he's punching balls out and doing things like that. And, as your confidence continue to grow, it's the same for, an older player, I think for me, it was kind of hesitation at the beginning of the year coming off my ankle. You know, it was hesitation. Like you hesitate a little bit. Can I make that play? You know what I mean? But as you get confidence and seeing things go down, the same with him. I think he's just kind of he's taking it by storm now. He feeling like, oh, I feel good. I can go do this, and that's kind of how it happens. And I think that's the growth. You know, he'll continue to grow as the year goes on. You know, like I told you guys when we lost in New Orleans, I mean, it was just the first quarter of the season. And the first quarter of the season, then you go into the second quarter, and I think he'll continue to get better as the third quarter, as the fourth quarter, and I think that's just kind of what it is.
You just talked a lot about the speed of this team, and it shows up on both sides of the ball, but in what way have you seen that show up in the defense?
I mean, guys flying around. You know, I think for me it was funny because I used to get mad at the beginning of the year because teams were running like toss plays and I wasn't getting no tackles on the toss because it was like, damn, that's my play. You know, that's the play I'm supposed to be making. But now as the season gets going, you know, you see guys just flying around, you know, guys going over the top, linebackers, D linemen, you know, screen plays, guys getting out of stacks, DBs, you know. So I think it's really cool to see everybody just running fast, you know what I mean? Like, I used to just run fast and just play super duper fast, but now I can kind of slow down, and which is good sometimes, bad sometimes, but just kind of slow down and see the team speed and see the defense, see guys flying over the top to try to go get a tackle on a running back and, you know, gang tackle and things like that. So, I mean, we just want teams to, when they turn on the film, they see that we're flying around attacking defense.
One of the guys that Pete keeps mentioning in terms of speed is Joey Blunt.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him mostly on special teams, but what have you seen from him in practice?
I mean, to me, what you see with Joey on special teams is kind of what he's doing at practice too. You know, he's freaking flying around the scout team. He's making plays, making interceptions, fumbles, things like that. And I think he's just one of those guys that, you know, he kind of has a knack for just, you know, going to go make plays. And whether that's guarding guys or, you know, in the half, in the post, I think he's just one of those guys that has some of those natural instincts that's really cool to see.
You've known Marquise Goodwin for a really long time. And seeing him come back this year and then kind of have the kind of game he did Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, kind of what's that like? And kind of, you know, seeing him have the success again.
I mean, it's dope. You know, I've been around Keith since 2011. Long time. Think about it, 11 years. And he's always been a guy that's been a playmaker. You know what I mean? I think if we had a freaking great quarterback in college, he would have been a star. You know what I mean? Everybody sees his speed, but, you know, from blocking to, you know, Keith has one of the biggest hits that I ever seen anybody hit a safety or like a linebacker in college against UCLA, like killed a guy, you know what I mean? But Keith is just one of those guys that, like, he works, he plays his role well, he blocks, you know, he's a great locker room, great veteran guy. I remember when I came back, you know, he had the young receivers, and I was rehabbing, but he had the young receivers out there catching balls with him on the jug machine. That's just the type of person he is. Like, he's just one of those people that you want by your side. And, you know, I was super excited when we signed Keith. I remember coming up here, and they were like, we trying to get Keith. And I texted him, like, bro, come, you'll love it. Like, you'll love this place. Like, it's perfect for you. So I'm super excited for him. You know, we sit by each other on the bench. We was just talking, just chopping it up, and it's like, you see it, you just get excited for people that, you know, like, that you really love and, like, care about. And he's one of those people that I've always kind of, like, admire him just because of his dedication to football, track, you know, being a dad, whatever it is, you know, he's always, you know, he's done it to the best of his ability.
It's a huge school. Did you know his wife at Texas?
Yeah, I knew Morgan. I know Morgan, so we all really, really good friends. We all, they live in Austin. Me and my family went to his daughter's birthday party this past year. I was on crutches, and I freaking fell at his house and scarred up my dang arm. He was like, bro, is that fresh blood? I'm like, yeah, I just fell getting out of the car. Like, but yeah, I know Morgan. I've been around those guys. We all were in the dorms, and we all grew up, and, you know, we all just been around each other since then.
What is it about those two that have gotten them through what they've gone through?
I mean, they're just resilient people, both of them. super resilient, tough situations, and they both fought through it. And I know they still have scars. I mean, we all do. And it's just the positive mindset that they always continue to have, the care that they have for people. Like I say, me and Keith is super close, and me and Morgan were close in college too, because we all kind of around the same age. So it was, those are two of our good family friends. So it's not just like this is a teammate. I mean, this is really good family friends, and they have two beautiful kids now, and you see those type of things, and it excites you. You see my daughter playing with his daughter, and it's just crazy that our kids that grow up together, living in Austin and being around. And, like I said, we've been friends for 11 years now. So for us, it's dope to see those type of things.
You get to see Tariq and Kobe have immediate success here as rookies.
Mhm.
Sometimes people forget that Trey Brown was doing that last year
Right.
before he got hurt. How big of a deal is it for the secondary to get him back out there if he can play at that level he was playing that last year?
I mean, first of all, of course, it'd be great if he's able to get back out there, but I'm just happy to see him to go out and be able to go out and practice and, be out there with the guys, because I know what he went through. Me and Trey and Jamal, we in a group message and we talk all the time, so I think it was real interesting this offseason. We all rehabbing different things and just kind of motivating each other and, seeing where we can go. And, Maul was able to come back, I was able to come back, and Trey was still going through his ordeal. So we just kind of motivated him to get back on the field. And I think it'll be super, super cool. He was making lots of plays last year before he went down. And he was one of those guys that came in, and another young guy that I really didn't have to worry about too much. He knew what he was supposed to do, and, he was step kicking, locking guys out and doing his thing. And, so I'm excited to see how he comes back, how he responds. But like I told him today, you take it day by day. It's a bigger picture at the end of it. You don't want to go out there too quick and, trying to do too much on the first couple days. Kind of feel your way into the process and, go from there.
Whenever you see non-contact injuries on artificial turf, the turf versus grass debate that's coming up, Ryan Neal brought it up this game on Sunday. How big of a talking point is this among players, even when there's not injuries going on in the offseason and before games of the program?
I think for me now, the older I get, the more I hate the turf. When I was young, it was just like, it is what it is. I grew up playing on turf in high school and stuff like that, so I didn't really. But I mean, just the kind of the effects that you can feel on the joints and things after, the grass is so much better. But when you see all these injuries on turf, it definitely sucks. All the injuries that we had, Chargers and Seahawks on Sunday, I just feel like that turf, I'm not a big fan of the Rams/Chargers field turf. I think it's slick. I'm not a big fan of it, but you see all these injuries. I think it was Giants and Jet Stadium a few years ago, where all those teams, the 49ers went out there. They had guys with ACLs and all type of stuff. So you see that and you just kind of wonder, like, why can't we have natural grass everywhere? I love playing in like San Francisco and things like that, where it's grass and you just go out there and you just go play. So, hopefully we doing some research on it and seeing what we can do to make things better. And I know it's hard to upkeep grass, but at the end of the day, we got to do what's best for this billion-dollar industry. And I think the players are a big part of that. So, maybe we need to take some ideas from the players.
What is the difference between the two surfaces in terms of like what may be leading to more injuries on the turf?
I mean, first of all, is the turf is not natural. It's not like the AstroTurf, of course, but it's still a harder surface, harder playing surface, less give, as grass. But I just think, they're making these different type of turfs now and trying to get it better. But as time goes on, you always see that, the grass is kind of better. But people get hurt on grass too, but I'm sure the numbers are a lot lower. When I broke my leg, it was grass, you know what I mean? So it just depends on the surfaces and how people put their surfaces down.
And how much variance is there from one field turf to another?
It's a lot. Some people has, kind of slick turf and, it's fast, and some people have a little thicker turf where it's bouncy. So, it's always good to go out and try your cleats out before every game. And You know, that's kind of the talks that we're in with these shoe companies is, you know, trying to get a better, you know, cleat for those turf surfaces because, you know, when your feet are sliding and things like that, it's definitely not good.
Ryan Neal.
Seattle's,
You say what?
how is Seattle's compared to?
Our turf is it's fine. You know, it definitely a little more sticky than others. Even on my play last week with Rondell Moore, it was kind of like I tried to get my foot down. My foot got stuck in the turf, and that's what kind of gave me that hitch where he was able to get outside of me. So I came and kind of told Pete that, that it was kind of sticky. You know what I mean? It's like you want it to be sticky. You don't want it to be too sticky though. You know what I mean? I think that was one of the instances where it was like sticky and my foot got stuck in the ground, and it was my surgically repaired foot. So it was like get that thing out of the ground as fast as possible. So it was just one of those things.
Ryan Neal is coming off an impressive performance. He was also sick. Does he get bonus points for the way that he played and under those conditions, or
No,
just
you
good
don't
effort?
get bonus points.
Good effort all the way around.
Yeah, that's your job. And like he knows, you can ask him. He always he said it in the game. He was like, "Shoot, Nino didn't play through worse than this." You know what I mean? So like, I'm like, yeah, go out there. You go to work, get an IV. That's what I tell him. Like, you better go get the IV because that's all gonna be able to hold you down. But yeah, I mean, you be sick, it happens. You know what I mean? You play through it. I mean, the past couple years you wasn't supposed to, but you get it how you live. You know what I mean? And if I'm able to go, I'm able to go. And he was able to go, so he better have been out there anyway. But look at the game he had, man. He need to be sick more often.
The Moore play you referenced, that was on the opening drive of the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times did you play Geno in college? Just one?
Yeah, just one.
How much of seeing him at West Virginia, even beyond just the one game he played against him, kind of give you confidence that he can play like this?
I mean, the Geno at West Virginia was a young, trash-talking Geno, too. Like, he was one of the ones I almost jumped on him at the game. But, you know, I watched Geno, even when they wasn't in the Big 12, I remember them going and playing Clemson and, like, demolishing Clemson or something like that. I don't remember what bowl game it was. It was right before they got to the Big 12, but just went down and just whipped Clemson. And then they came into the Big 12 and they were going crazy. Him, Stedman, Tavon, just going crazy out there. And he was just putting up numbers every week and he was doing his thing, you know, not worried about all the other stuff. And, you know, sometimes just guys just need different systems and different coaches in different places and, you know, different organizations to settle down and just let you be who you are. And, you know, I think him being here, you know, he's grown into to know who he is and people around here accept that. So I remember this offseason when things were, you know, kind of swirling around who we were going to get, who we wasn't going to get. And I remember telling my friends, I'm like, I'd rather just have Geno. Like, I'd rather just have Geno and let Geno thug it out and go play and do what he do because, you know, we got a glimpse of that Jacksonville game last year before he went to the bench where he just was cutting up. And, of course, it's Jacksonville. People love to say that. But I think the next week Jacksonville went out and beat somebody after we had just blew them out. And that's just kind of who he is. You know, he's a Florida guy that, you know, all he's had to do is fight his whole life. So for him, he fought through adversity, and that's what he continues to do, and he's doing a hell of a job at it.
What is he good at that puts a stress on secondaries?
I mean, as you can see, like he's going through his reads now. You know, he's going through reads. One thing's not open. I mean, just look at that first drive. He's looking right. Boom, he come back left. He hit this. You know, I mean, he can scramble. He can do all those things. He's protecting the ball, and I think when a guy can just put together drives like that, it just wears the defense out. You know what I mean? When you on the field and guys can go 10 plays and they dink and donk and they not getting greedy, then they take their shot, they complete it, just like kind of deflates the defense. And I think that's what he's doing. And, you know, our run game has been on point, and, you know, it kind of breaks guys back, too, when he goes and scrambles for a first down. Defenses hate that. So that's what he's doing. He's putting everything together.
What kind of trash talker was he?
I mean, you guys can go look up the video of how he was throwing the horns down and talking trash to me and all type of stuff. I'm just like, all right, bro. But, you know, that's who he was. You know, he was a Heisman candidate at the point. So he had the right to do his trash talk. But if it would have really got down to it, I would have had to slap him up, really. So we know what it is.
When you were expressing confidence to people in Geno this offseason, what were the reactions? People tell you were crazy to suggest that after losing Russ?
I mean, they said what they said. You know what I mean? me, I'm gonna stand on what I stand on, and that's how I always. I mean, you guys been around. I stand on what I stand on, and those principles. And if you don't believe it, then I mean, Geno is showing them right now, and a lot of people eating their words.
And yet he has really shot down the notion that, at least when we've asked him questions like this, that this is any sort of personal validation for him. Do you buy that?
Man, that's what that man told y'all. That's what he told y'all. I can't go against his word. Like, that's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he stand on. That's what he stand on. For me, shit, it would have been a revenge tour if it was me. I'm just be honest with you. That's just me. Like, but if that's what Geno, that's what in his mind, that's what it is. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have been so subtle right now if it was me. So that's just the different personalities.
The plays that he's made with his legs, both scrambling and just extending plays to throw outside the pocket. Did you see a lot of that, like in camp and last year?
I mean, he's always been able to do that. I think when he was on scout team, of course, we didn't want him scrambling around. I mean, he used to piss us off at practice, scrambling, throw the ball, you know what I mean? Like, throw the ball downfield. I'm trying to get picks at practice and stuff like that. But, he's always had that in his game. But I think as a black quarterback, you always try to fight that notion of, I don't want to just be called a scrambling quarterback. I can throw the ball, but I can use my legs because I was given that athletic ability. So I think he's always had it. I think it's, just something that he, if I'm completing passes, why would I go run if I don't need to? You know what I mean? So, he's always been able to do it, though.
Thank you.
Yo.
Thank you.
Yo.